Thank you very much, Sir Jonis. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, can you hear me right now? Please let me know if you can hear me. Okay, thank you very much for your response. Okay, so I hope that you are all doing well today, and I hope that you have all eaten your lunch well. Okay, I know it's the holy hour of the day, so I recommend and I suggest that you participate well so that you will not feel sleepy. Is that okay, STEM A? Okay, I hope that you can hear me well. And just to check first before we start, okay, can you see me well on your screen? Okay, can anyone please tell me if you can see me right now on your screens? Okay, thank you very much for that. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are doing well today, and I hope that you are all safe. So before we start, I want you to give you first some reminders for our online class today. Please keep your cameras on all the time so that I can see you if you're still there, and I can check also who among you are having problems on your internet. Okay, please turn on your cameras now. Okay, so sino ang mga present na? Aldric, Rafael, Marinel, Carmela, Miss Bonina, Ulysses, Gilbert, Carl, Kisha, Zusmita, Hazel, William, Katrina, Alejandro, and the rest. Please turn on your cameras now. Okay, and for your microphones, please put them on mute unless you are recognized to recite or say something to the class. Okay, and also if you are having difficulty with your microphones, you can also send messages through our chat box here in Google Meet. But I want also to remind you that only subject-related things or ideas or thoughts will be recognized and will be entertained in our chat. Is that understood, STEM A? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so also for your attendance, it will be collected and recorded. It will be checked via Google Attendance Collector. So even though I will not call you one by one today, or if I cannot call you all of you today, still your attendance is recorded. Okay? Okay, so let's now proceed with our lesson for today. Okay, but before that, let me also tell you, STEM A, that I want us to have fun and enjoy today while we are learning. Okay? Right, so let's proceed. So welcome again, STEM A, to Practical Research 2. Okay? So it's me, Ma'am Crissette, and welcome to my subject. It may sound trite, but human needs never end. Believe it or not, but it's the truth. Our wants and desires increase day by day, and as our needs increase, the requirement to do research also rises. It is research that makes our life easier. Because of our curiosity, new innovations and ideas emerge. But now that we are in the digital age, and teenagers like you who are very hooked up to the internet may think that research is just the mere use of Google or what we call Googling. So STEM A, today is the right time to start correcting all these misconceptions. So to start today's lesson, STEM A, I want you first to watch this video and try to evaluate and assess yourself if your knowledge or information about research is the same as the people in this video. Okay, so STEM A, have you watched the video? Were you able to watch the video, STEM A? Okay, can anyone please give me a response for that? Okay, thank you very much. So for those of you who have watched the video, okay, so in that video, the kids were able to give their ideas and thoughts about research. So what were the ideas, or what do these kids know about research? Okay, let me call Rafael. Okay, thank you very much for that, Rafael. And I think most of you also know that particular experiment, right? I think some of you already tried that particular experiment wherein you put the candy, specifically Mentos, in a soda, and that creates, or it can be compared to a flying rocket. How about Maria Celan? Okay, very good. A kid also mentioned that research is about looking for something using the internet. How about Samantha? Okay, so a kid also mentioned that if you're doing your research, you can do it by looking or reading books and also via internet. Okay, so do you think the ideas of these kids are correct? Do you think the ideas of these kids are correct? Okay, but yes, they have a point and they are correct. However, do you think also that it is just mere looking at books or the internet? Or is it just simply using your phones? Ganun lang ba ang research? Miss Katrina or Miss Prula, do you think that research is just mere looking for information on the internet or in books or using phones and iPads? Okay. Wow, thank you also, Katrina, for that. And you are correct. It's not just mere looking for information via online or in the internet or from books. Okay, so let's have a recall and let's review the things that you know about research. So right now, STEM A, I'll be giving you a drill first, okay? This drill will facilitate to refresh your memories about your idea of research. So I will instruct you first to please go back to our Google Classroom. Okay, please go back to Google Classroom. Okay, I will post there, okay, your activity number 1. Okay, so right now, I'm posting your activity number 1. Okay, for activity number 1, I am giving you 3 minutes to answer. Okay, so if you're already in our classroom, you can click classwork or you can already see it on your screens. Okay, please click the link and try to answer. Okay, make sure that you'll be able to click submit, and when you are able to do that, you'll be able to see your scores as well. So I'm giving you 4 minutes. It's now 1:15 on my clock here. So I'm giving you 4 minutes. 4 minutes starts now. Okay, so I think time's up. Okay, there were only 11 students who answered the activity. Okay, now there's 12. Okay, so I gave you that activity to help you refresh your memories about the things that you know about research. So in that activity, you were presented with a definition or a description about a word, and you need to find out what that word is. So let's try to unlock those words together. Okay, so the number 1, what was your answer here for number 1? Okay, let me call Victoria. Did you try to answer the activity? Yes, okay, for number 1, what was your answer? Okay, your answer was investigation. That is correct. And what does investigation mean? Okay, that is another definition for that. But the one given here is to try to find out the facts about something. Thank you very much for that, Victoria. How about for number 2? What was your answer? Okay, let me call Trisha. For number 2, what was your answer, Trisha? Okay, Trisha's not there. Okay, Ishi, did you try to answer the activity? Okay, how about Mr. Boneo? Mr. Boneo, are you still there? Wala? Okay, how about Mr. Brutas? Oh, okay, Mr. Boneo, what was your answer for number 2? What was the word for number 2? Okay, discipline. And also, Raylan, can you read the definition for that? Can you please read the definition given? You can see it on your screens. Okay, it's a branch of knowledge typically one studied in higher education. Thank you. Okay, how about number 3? Number 3, let's have Gilbert. Gilbert, what was your answer for number 3? Okay, inquiry, correct. And what does that mean? Okay, thank you very much, Gilbert. That is correct. How about number 4? What was your answer here for number 4? Okay, Kisha. Kisha, did you answer the activity earlier? Yes, good afternoon. Okay, your answer is purports. Very good. And what does purports mean, Kisha? Okay, that means the meaning is conveyed, professed, or implied. Thank you. And for the last one, last word, let's have, okay, how about Jazz? Miss Talento, what is your answer for number 5? Okay, correct. And scientific means? Okay, thank you very much for that, Jazz. You made the definition complete. Okay, so with those 5 words that were given or that were unlocked in that activity, okay, those words are investigation, discipline, inquiry, purports, and scientific. Okay, using those 5 words, can anyone from STEM A try to give us a definition of your own of research? Okay, try to give us a definition of research using those 5 words. Any of those 5 words may be used. Okay, I'll call someone again. Let's have William. William, you can choose from those 5 words and try to give us a short definition of research. Okay, it is done in a scientific way through inquiry. Okay, thank you very much for that, William. Okay, and let's have another one. How about Carl? You can choose 1 word, 2 words here, or you can use the 5 words. So according to Carl, it is a scientific investigation. Okay, correct. Okay, last one. Let's have Mr. Ulysses. Okay, Mr. Burse, can you try to give us a definition of research using any of the words from the activity? Okay, Ulysses, do you have any idea? Okay, you can just try. It's okay. Okay, so according to you, Rafael, it's an inquiry to the unknown. Okay, so he sent me a message. It's an inquiry of the unknown. That is also correct. Thank you very much for that answer. Okay, so what is really, or what really is research? Okay, so what is research? It is a step-by-step process of investigation, and research uses standardized approach, which is also a continuous undertaking, and research leads to the discovery of new ideas, methods, or improvements. Okay, so that is our definition of research. Also, class, when we say research here, we mentioned that it is a continuous process. Okay, so I want to ask you something about that. Why do we say that research is a continuous process? Okay, I want to call Aldrich. Aldrich, why do you think that research is a continuous process?
Because ma'am, research can be modified, like they can be studied by another person or another group, and to improve your study. Because ma'am, ma'am, um, research is not yet done, or meaning it can be
Oh,
modified. It can be
okay.
it can be advanced or another step to another level.
Okay, so according to Aldrich, thank you very much for your answer, that research can be modified. And also, he said that research can always be improved. That is correct. How about Rafael? Why can you say that research is a continuous undertaking or a continuous process? Generalization. There is always a possibility that another question will arise. That is correct. Okay, that's why we can again make another research out of it. And as we all know from the word research, diba, when we say research in English, when you have re, that means again. So you can search again. So it's a continuous process. And when you do a research, that does not stop there. So Rafael mentioned that a question may arise again because when you arrive or when you already have a generalization at the end of your research, your curiosity is again awakened. And there are again things that you want to know more about. There are again questions that you want to answer. So that arises and that leads you to another research. So I want us to appreciate more and understand more what research is. So please watch this video.
Our everyday life has always been punctuated by exciting adventures which makes us enjoy every aspects of life. Challenging situations that made us confused and problematic sometimes. And surprising discoveries that makes us become successful. Sometimes, we are confronted with doubts and problems. So much questions, gathered in our minds. That is why we turn to finding out what could be the possible answers and solutions to them. This is where you embark on the process, called research. But, what is its importance? Research is very important, because it leads to expansion of knowledge, and discoveries. Research also is a systematic process, of collecting and analyzing data, to increase understanding of a phenomenon. Through research, projections about upcoming calamities, global warming, climate change, and other future events, have been determined. Other definitions given to research are: research originates with a question, or a problem, thus it is an inquiry process. Research requires a formal process, of problem solving, and it is a set of procedures. The continued existence, and importance of research, which will last long, as there is a human being who wishes to expand his knowledge, and understanding about the world, and everything therein. Research is an act of studying something carefully and extensively in order to have a deep knowledge. Research is undertaken because of some importance it has and does for the society. 1. To gather necessary information. Research provides you with necessary information related to your field of study or work. For example, companies may do research before manufacturing a product. 2. To improve standard of living. Only through research can new inventions and discoveries come into life. How would you think life be without Graham Bell and his telephone? 3. To have a safer life. Research has done great discoveries and development in the field of health, technology, nutrition, and medicine. These things have improved life expectancy and helped in curing a lot of diseases. 4. To know the truth. Research investigates and exposes what wrong beliefs people hold. Listening to different opinions and studying facts and available data will lead you to unravel the truth. 5. To explore our history. Research about our history enables us to learn and understand the past and prepare for a better future. 6. To understand arts. Research helps us in understanding the works of artists in different fields of arts. Our perception of the world, the way we experience our relationships with others, the organizations of a society as a whole, are profoundly influenced by the expansion of knowledge, both in the exact sciences like mathematics, physics, biology, and chemistry. Research is closely connected with development. The results of studies also affect society and the lives of each one of us, because research is very vital to our everyday decision making. It hones basic life skills and makes learning a lifelong endeavor. Research fills in the need to love reading, writing, and sharing valuable information. Not only that, but research also leads to an expansion of knowledge and discoveries of new medical treatment and cures. Research efforts have also led to breakthrough in agriculture, such as the introduction of high-yield and drought-resistant varieties. Projection of effects of global warming have likewise been determined through research. Through research findings, psychologists are able to explain the individual's behaviors, including how people think and act in certain ways. In business, market research enables companies to make forecasts and formulate the needed strategies. Business properties conduct surveys and feasibility studies to find out the needs of the community. Research benefits, therefore, can be seen and felt in the following fields. Economic research refers to matters concerning the environment and which may lead to improved techniques to ensure sustainable food. Social research leads to an increased knowledge of people and their interaction with one another, which could be relevant to policy makers. Cultural research leads to increased understanding of cultural values or social approaches. Health research contributes to a better understanding of the causes of medical conditions. In general, research is an important aspect of any organization.
Okay, so STEM A, have you watched the video about research? Okay, so it was a video that gave you a lot of information about research. So let us try to discuss what were the things that you learned on the video. So first, Marinelle, what can you remember from the video? Okay, go ahead, Marinelle. What can you remember about the video?
I remember that research starts with a question, so it is an inquiry process, and it is important for increasing the understanding of a phenomenon.
Okay, so according to Marinelle, that is correct. That with research rather, it can help you understand a phenomenon. How about Trisha? What can you remember, or what did you see from the video about research? Ah, okay. So according to Ishi, she was not able to watch the video. Okay, we understand. Let's ask another one. Someone can help you. Please help Ishi. Chris Mark.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, so what were you able to watch, or what can you remember about the video that I have shown you?
What I can remember is that research is a part of development in one
Okay.
certain society.
Okay, that is correct. If I can correctly remember that, according to the video, that research is a very important part of the development of any society. Diba? Tama. Without research, there can no, without research, wala rin po tayong development. Okay, let's have another answer from Carl.
Carl?
Carl?
Based from the video, um, the video provides several significance of research. Example, a research enables us to gather necessary info and to have a safer life. Example, by introducing antibiotics and to improve the standard of living.
Okay, thank you very much, Carl. Very good. So, according to Carl in the video, it also showed us the different importance of research in our daily life. So, he mentioned that with research, we can gather info. Okay, it can give us a safer living. Also, he gave us an example about antibiotic. Okay, very good, Carl. Okay, you were really watching the video. Okay, let's have another one. How about Hazel? Okay, Kisha.
So according to the video, I remember that research is has a very big contribution in the different aspects of the society, which involves the expansion of knowledge and discoveries in economic, which is the knowledge about matter and environment, social, with the people and their interaction, cultural and their cultural values, health, which includes the knowledge of health.
Okay, so Kisha, I think you remember a lot of things. Okay, very good for that. Okay, so according to Kisha, that research is used in the different fields of discipline. Okay, so Kisha also mentioned the different disciplines that were mentioned on the video, and to add to that, okay, if you watch the video, it was also mentioned there that with research, okay, there is innovation, improvement, and continuous discovery when it comes to medicine, agriculture, and business. Okay, very good. STEM A, I think you have a lot of ideas about research. Okay, so I commend you for that. And also, STEM A, going back to your subjects in grade 11, I know that you have one subject before that is already about research, right? Naalala po ba yon, STEM A? You had your subject last semester about research. Tama ba? Okay, very good, STEM A. Very good for those who can remember. And what subject is that again?
Practical research one.
Okay, practical research one, or you also call that what?
qual- qualitative research.
Okay, that is also called qualitative or qualitative research. Thank you very much. Very good. Your memories are really sharp. Okay, but for practical research too, we will also have quantitative research. So what is the difference between these two? Okay, qualitative or quantitative? Okay, I will again let you go back to our Google Classroom. Okay, I'll give you the second activity. Okay, in this activity, you will try, to identify which is for practical or which is for quantitative research and which is for qualitative research. So please go back to Google Classroom. I am now posting your activity number 2. Okay, so activity number 2 is now posted. STEM A, please go back to Google Classroom. You can click classwork and there is activity number 2. For this activity, I am only giving you 2 minutes to answer. Okay, it's now 1:44. We will end the activity at 1:46. So please try to answer now. Okay, very good. A lot of you are done already. Okay, time's up. It's 1:46 now. Okay, so with the activity given, okay, you were shown some pictures or photos, right? And they were all about qualitative or quantitative research. Okay, did you find the activity easy? STEM A? Did you find the activity? Samantha, was it easy for you to answer the activity?
Yes, ma'am, because with the previous knowledge from practical research 1, we already know some of the information stated in the questions.
Okay, that's good. That's good to hear. All right, let's look at the pictures and try to identify if it's qualitative or quantitative. Okay, number 1. Okay, anyone from the class can try to tell us what this picture is for. Okay, can you see it right now? Nakikita na po ba? STEM A? Yes, okay. Alejandra said yes. Okay, so that picture, is it for qualitative or quantitative research? Okay, Aldrich. Was it?
Quantitative po, ma'am.
Ano ba talaga, Aldrich? What's your final answer? Okay, quantitative. That is correct. How about number 2? Rafael, can you see the picture? Okay, that is for qualitative. Correct. Number 3. Lore. Miss Barbacena, can you see the picture? Wala. Okay, Victoria. Can you see the picture? Okay, I think, yes, you can see the picture. Okay, what is it for? Is it for qualitative or quantitative research? Ano po yon?
Qualitative.
Qualitative, correct. Because there is smaller sample. Okay, let's move to the next picture. Okay. What is it for? Is it for qualitative or quantitative? Chris Mark.
It's quantitative po, ma'am.
Okay, it's quantitative. Opposite for quali, here you have larger sample. Okay, 5. Okay, so kunwari walang clue. What was your answer here? Okay, what was your answer here, Gilbert? Okay, wala si Gilbert. Okay, Miss Gonzalez? Do you have answer for this item? Wala rin? Okay, let's ask Hazel.
Qualitative po.
Okay, according to Hazel, her answer is qualitative. Correct. Okay, the next one. Pamela. How about for this picture? Is it for qualitative or quantitative research? Okay, wala si Miss Mitra. Okay, Katrina.
Quantitative po.
Okay, thank you very much. That is correct. Okay, number 7. Okay, what's your answer for number 7? Okay, Selan, what is your answer for number 7?
Quantitative po.
Okay, your answer is quantitative. That is again correct. And for the last one? Rafael, what's your answer for the last item? I'm sorry, what was your answer?
Qualitative po.
Okay, your answer is correct. That is qualitative. Thank you very much, Mr. Ariate. Okay, so I think you all got the answers for this activity. But STEM A, how were you able to identify pictures that had shown qualitative research? How were you able to identify pictures that were for qualitative research? What was your strategy? I think what was your technique? Or what were the things that you considered or you thought about to say that it is for qualitative research? Okay, anyone from STEM A? Or you want me again to call anyone?
Ma'am, I volunteer po.
Sige, sige po.
So I was able to identify the qualitative research by looking at the given. When the given gives a quality or something that shows that can be obtained by the five senses, like kanina po, yung it like sa mock float po ba yung RT? Pinapakita po
Yes.
yung temperature niya and yung taste niya, and it shows quality, so I can say that is qualitative research. So that's my strategy po.
Okay, so for Alejandro, he tried to identify those pictures for qualitative if the picture shows about its quality, and he mentioned the five senses. So for if you're using the five senses, that is observation. Tama po ba? You're already observing. Okay, if you're observing, you are looking for quality. Okay, sino pa ang merong ibang sagot? Okay, aside from Alejandro, thank you very much for your answer. Okay, how about, let me call, sige, Carl. How are you able to identify pictures for qualitative?
Based on my knowledge, ma'am, a research is qualitative if it answers, if it involves the question why and how, and since it involves the question why and how, it is, the questions are ended questions.
Okay. Okay, so for Carl, if it answers how and why, that will be considered for qualitative research. Thank you very much for your answers. Okay, how about naman, okay, that Carl is correct that qualitative research focuses on explaining the why and how the phenomenon happened. Okay, how about naman for quantitative research? How did you identify the pictures that had shown quantitative research? Okay, let me call Harvey. Sige, Harvey, how did you identify the pictures that had shown quantitative research? Harvey, any idea? Wala si Harvey. Okay. Yes, Harvey, how were you able to identify pictures for quantitative research?
It deals with numbers po, ma'am.
Okay. Right? So according to Harvey, he was able to identify pictures for quantitative research because it deals with numbers. So meron kayong nakita from some pictures, there were already numbers being used. Right? Okay, how about Gilbert? How will you able to identify pictures that had shown quantitative research? Gilbert?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes, how were you Go ahead.
Quantitative research for me po, ma'am, are based on numbers. And they are quantifiable, they are measurable,
Okay.
unlike to the qualitative research.
Okay, so according to Gilbert, that quantitative research is using more numbers, okay? And he also mentioned that it is quantifiable compared to qualitative research. When we say quantifiable, it is measurable. Okay, so quantitative research focuses on quantifying data, just as what Gilbert mentioned earlier. Okay, also quantitative research is explaining phenomena by collecting numerical data that are analyzed, and this type of research uses or utilizes numbers and statistical analysis. That is according to Aliaga and Gunderson in 2000. And also research uses numbers in stating generalizations about a given problem or inquiry. Okay, so all of you, or all of the people who I called for quantitative research, you have already the idea what quantitative research is. But to better understand what really is quantitative research, let's get more. Let's try to know it better. Okay, and that is by knowing its different characteristics. Okay, so quantitative research has 6 characteristics. Okay, so how do we describe characteristics of quantitative research? Okay, so I'll be flashing on your screen characteristics, or the different characteristics of research. And there are 3 students who are listed for each characteristic. Okay, I want those 3 students to at least share to the class what they understand about the particular characteristic that is flashed on the screen. Rafael, what do you think does the first characteristic mean?
I think the first characteristic means quantitative research is reliable and objective, which means that all data presented were very much based on facts and studied carefully.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for your answer, Rafael. And that is correct. You can say that it is reliable and objective if you are really using facts. Okay? Because in quantitative research, we try to be as factual as possible. So when you say factual, we refrain from using our emotions. We try not to use our personal opinion on dealing with the process. Because once you use your personal opinion or your emotions, Okay, you are no longer objective, rather you are being subjective. Okay, sino ang meron pang gustong idagdag with number 1? Okay, meron pa? Oh, okay. So according to Ulysses, he tried to answer in our chat. According to him, quantitative research tend to avoid subjective matter and all data are well investigated. Thank you very much for that, Ulysses. And that is correct. Okay, we try to avoid topics in quantitative research that will lead you to your personal beliefs and being subjective. And also, Gilbert added, reliable po ma'am means trusted and objective based on facts. Correct. And also, you try to be reliable and objective by using proof. Okay, you need something to serve as your proof or to be your basis. Okay, we cannot just jump into conclusion without concrete or factual basis or proof. And in quantitative research, that proof is in a form of number or statistics. Okay, let's move to the second characteristic. Okay, it uses statistics to generalize a finding. Okay, is Joey present right now? Wala? Wala si Mr. Bilo? Okay, wala ata. Okay, Raylan. I know Raylan is here with us. Okay, Raylan, can you try to tell us something about the second characteristic? Wala na ba si Raylan? Okay, by the way, class, again, your attendance is being recorded via Google Attendance Collector. Okay, si Gino, is he here? Wala din. Okay, let me just call Katrina. Can you share something to the class about the second characteristic?
The second characteristic is it uses statistics to generalize a finding. A research does not just randomly choose a process to analyze data, but rather it uses statistics like the one taught to us in our subject in 11th grade. So research requires a process or a scientific procedure to analyze a data that were collected. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much also, Katrina. And Katrina here told the class that in quantitative research, you are using here statistics. Okay, remember, tama siya? The things that you were taught in your statistics subject is applied in quantitative research. All the formulas there, how you're going to look for something statistically that is applied in quantitative research. And also, if you can remember in qualitative research, your generalization there was expressed in words, right? It was expressed in words, while here in quantitative research, okay, your generalization is expressed through numbers or statistics. Let me give you an example for that. Halimbawa, your generalization is statistical analysis shows that on an average, students rate their professors 4.4 out of 5. So, in that particular generalization, there is the phrase, they rate their professor 4.4 out of 5. That is already a form of statistics. That is what you will find at the end of your quantitative research. Okay. And it also, in number 2 also, we include here the use of graph, tables, and figures to showcase or to show the summarized data that you have collected when you were in your data gathering. Again, you use figures, tables, and graphs to show or showcase the data that you have gathered during your data gathering. Okay, how about for number 3? Okay, for number 3, let's have William, okay, Alejandro, and Agin. Okay, go ahead, William.
The third characteristic of a quantitative research is that it reduces and restructures a complex problem to a limited number of variables. Meaning, unlike in sorry, unlike in qualitative data where you start in some where you make a research. Wait, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Sige, go ahead, William. Take your time.
The best explanation for this would be the inverse triangle and the triangle, madam.
Can you tell us more about that? What is the inverse triangle or triangle that you're referring to?
In the triangle, the normal triangle, you start with something small, and you and along the way, as your research continues to progress, you find out more that needs more that you find out more along the way that needs furthermore research. While in quantitative, you start with something big, you start with something general and go to specific. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so according to William, that in quantitative research, he uses the inverted triangle approach. Am I right, William? That's what you're saying? Okay, that according to William, in quantitative research, from the very general idea or the very complex idea to the most specific ones. Okay, can you add more to that, Mr. Alejandro? What do you think does characteristic number 3 mean?
Um, for me, ma'am, what I can say is almost the same as William's answer, but I can word it out as a deductive reasoning. Since we deduct the idea, since it is a complex problem, it is a very wide problem, or let's say a field or idea, and quantitative research breaks it down or restructures it to a limited number of variables to attain a specific idea. So that is what I can say.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Alejandro. So you gave a name for what William earlier told us. So from the inverted triangle, according to William, you gave it a name. You call it deductive, and that is a correct name for that. That is deductive because from a general or from the most general idea, you try to limit or trim it down to the most specific one. And Alejandro mentioned that to be able to do this, to be able to deduct from the most general to the more specific ones, you do it by eliminating some things, right? And this is called the variables. Okay, these things that can be eliminated, can be removed, or that can be added, okay, in a research are called variables. Okay, what makes quantitative research unique is that the researcher, he himself, is the one who can manipulate the variables. Okay, when we say manipulate here, okay, you try to reduce, you try to restructure the complex variables, okay, by manipulating it. Okay, you try to manipulate by removing those variables that are needed in your research. So here, the researcher should be able to identify which variables are needed and which are not. So also in this third characteristic, I want to emphasize that in the manipulation of the variable by the researcher, only the variables are manipulated. Okay, let us be clear with that. only the variables are manipulated. You cannot manipulate the answers or the results that you will be able to gather in your data gathering. Variables lang po ang minamanipulate. That will again lead to the ethics of research wherein the researcher cannot fabricate, cannot change any of the results that he or she will be able to gather in his or her research process. Okay, thank you. Very good, William and Alejandro. Let's move to the fourth characteristic. It looks at the connections between variables in highly controlled circumstances. Ishi, are you still with us? Can you try to tell us what characteristic number 4 is all about? Okay, so Ulysses is typing his answer. Let's wait for that. But while waiting, let us call Chris Mark. What does number 4 mean for quantitative research?
For me po, ma'am, the connections between variables in highly controlled circumstances. For me, it means like that. For example, the number of students have like a connection between your study when you're having like this statistics where you find the percentage of how many students, for example, attended the meeting or have answered the questions in a certain class.
Okay.
That's how the connections between variables in research.
Okay. Okay, so Chris Mark gave us an example. What are we going to look for? Okay, he gave us sample variables there. So according to him, example is number of students, 'di ba? According to Chris Mark, he mentioned, "Ma'am, you're going to find the connection between number of students, okay, na nag-attend po sa meeting." Okay, tama naman doon si Chris Mark. When you say variables, these are the things that the researcher, okay, decided to include in his or her research that can be measurable. And when you say connections here, you are looking for the relationships between variables. And you mean here by controlled circumstances because in number 3, we mentioned that the researcher can manipulate, right? The researcher is the one to choose which variables, and that variable also includes the setup. Okay, and that setup is what we mean by the controlled circumstance here. So quantitative research tries to look for connections, or it means you are looking for the relationship between variables. How this variable affects the other variable, or does this variable affect the other one? So you are going to prove that in quantitative research. Okay. Meron pa po ba, RK? Let's go back to the answer of Ulysses. According to him, quantitative research can formulate accurate prediction given its larger and specific variables. So, Ulysses' answer can still be related to number 3, di ba? Because in number 3, we mentioned that from a very complex variable, it can be deducted to a more specific one. Thank you very much, Ulysses, for your answer. Okay, let's move to number 5. Okay, it tests theories or hypothesis. Okay. And then dito po ba, okay, is Miss Diaz with us right now? Wala. Okay, how about Kisha?
Good afternoon, ma'am. It
Yes?
tests theories or hypotheses, since in quantitative research, the the theory or phenomena is already existed, and you are just going to prove it. Compared to the qualitative, from researching, you will form some theories or phenomena, while in quantitative, you're going to prove it by your data gathering.
Okay, that is exactly the answer from Kisha. Okay, let's hear it from Miss Gonzalez. Jusmita, are you still with us? Wala? Wala? Okay, let's have another answer from Hazel. Wala. Wala rin. Okay, Samantha.
Uh, Ma'am. Yes po, Ma'am. It tests theories or hypotheses since quantitative research is still research, which means a part of this is the hypothesis. And just like what Keisha said, unlike the qualitative research, uh, which involves the wherein theories emerge, quantitative research in here, theories are already existing or are already given and only needs the proof or the evidence through data gathering or mathematical solutions and statistics po.
Okay, so Samantha and Kisha have the same idea about number 5. According to them, that in quantitative research, theory is already existing or there is already hypothesis given, and all you need to do is try to prove if this hypothesis is true or not. That is correct. Because if you go back to your qualitative research in PR1, you were still, okay, don't get me wrong, because in quantitative, you will still again write hypothesis. But in PR1 or in qualitative research, your main purpose there is to understand and explore the ideas. But here in quantitative research, your primary concern here is to prove if that particular theory or hypothesis is true or not. So in number 5, it tests theories or hypothesis because class, quantitative research concern is primarily to prove rather than discovery. Again, let me repeat that. Okay, in quantitative research, your purpose here is proving rather than discovering. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can ask me or you can also put it in our chat box so that we can answer that. Okay, let's move to number 6. Pamela. Okay, number 6, it assumes that the sample is representative of the population. Is Pamela still with us? Marinelle, what does characteristic number 6 mean?
Um, in quantitative research po, ma'am, the recipients or ano po? Um,
Sige, take your time. Okay, so while Marinelle is thinking about her answer, Ulysses here has an answer. He said that it presents characteristics such as sex, age, education. Ulysses, is this for number 6? Your answer, is this for characteristic number 6? Okay, let us know in our chat box. Okay, let's go back to Marinelle. Marinelle, what does number 6 characteristic mean?
in quantitative research, the participants of the study should be included in the population since they have similar characteristics po.
Okay, so you mentioned that those that will participate in your research should be part of the population. Any other answers? Help us explain the 6th characteristic.
For me po, ma'am, quantitative research, the sample is assumed as a representative of the population because it uses a large number of people or population, so it can um, used to generalize the whole population.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And Celan is correct. If you can remember earlier, I also in the second activity that you had, you saw there that in quantitative research it uses a larger sample. And that larger sample, okay, can already represent the whole population. And as what Celan mentioned, that with this larger sample rather, that is used in quantitative research, it can give you a generalized answer. Okay, because as you can remember, you can say that the answer is generalized if majority of the population were able to give their opinion, their answer, or their side. Tama? Kaya when you say quantitative research, we can say that it uses a larger sample. Thus, it can give you the consensus of the majority. Okay, any other answers for number 6? Let's have the last one. Let's call the last person for this item, Gilbert.
Same with Celan po, ma'am.
Okay.
Because compared to the qualitative research, it does not the qualitative research does not require much more sample compared to quantitative research, because in quantitative research it deals with numbers, and there should be a lot of participants or samples in order to get the precise precise output.
Okay. So Gilbert, you mentioned that in quantitative research, it needs or it uses a larger sample, right? It uses a larger sample. So let me ask you, STEM A. Since in quantitative research, you are to use a larger sample, okay, it uses larger sample. Is it more difficult to to present to present the data in quantitative research? Do you think it's more difficult since you're using here more subjects for your sample? Do you think it's more difficult to present the data that you'll be able to gather in quantitative research? Anyone from STEM A can answer that question. Is it more difficult to present your data? Okay, Rafael answered no. Why no? Why not, Rafael?
Quantitative research mostly deals with close-ended questions. So, regardless of the quantity of the samples, you most likely will arrive at a more uh, more towards one single answer.
Okay. So according to Rafael, since here in quantitative research, you'll be using numbers here, right? Or rather, the participants in your study or your sample will try to answer you in terms of numbers. For example, in a scale of 1 to 5, okay? Or in a scale of 1 to 10, can you try, or in a scale of 1 to 10, can you describe your satisfaction with your experience in a particular fast food chain? So that is an example for quantitative research. Yes, there will be more samples here, but since you're using numbers and since you're using statistics and you'll be applying mathematical treatments for your answer, it will also be not that difficult to present your data. And also, if you remember earlier, I told you in presenting the data that you will use figures, tables, and graphs. Diba? Imagine that you will be looking at a table in front of you. Okay, when we say table, it can be when we say graph, you can say it can be pie, it can be line, diba? It can be bar. Even though that there will be numbers, if you're going to use this tree in presenting your data, it will be easier to understand as well. Kasi once you look at the graph, once you look at the table, once you look at the figures, you already understand or you can easily identify the difference between the different variables. Okay. So those are the 6 characteristics of our quantitative research. So let me ask you first, STEM A. Do you have any question about the 6 characteristics? Anyone? You can ask now so that we can clarify things. Okay, I'm back, STEM A. I'm back, STEM A. Okay, sorry for that few seconds of connection loss. Okay, let's go back. Okay, for number 3, what is your answer? Okay, let me again go back to your answers. Okay, what is your answer for number 3 again, STEM A? Peter gathered data which provided him a true generalization of the research. What is your answer? Okay, anyone from STEM A can give me his or her answer. Those whose cameras are on, you can just show me which number is your answer. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Aldrich, Carl, I can see you. Alejandro, what's your answer? Okay, Alejandro, you have an answer already. Okay, how about Carl? Okay, Carl, what's your answer? Okay, so how about the others? Are they still with us? Okay, so your answers are correct. Quantitative research. Oh, your answer is wrong for number 3. Peter gathered data which provided him... Yes? Okay. Wait lang. Sorry for that. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let me just fix that. Okay, so this is number 3. Peter gathered data which provided him a true generalization of the research. So what's your answer for this item? These are your choices. Okay, so Katrina, can you see it right now? Can you already see it? Okay, thank you very much for your response. Okay, what's your answer for the third item? Which characteristic is present? Alejandro has an answer already. How about the others? Rafael, do you have an answer? Carl has an answer. Okay. Okay, so I'll flash again. Wait lang po. Okay, Marinelle, can you see number 3? Peter gathered data which provided him a true generalization of the research. Okay, these are your choices. Okay, Carl, your answer again is number... Okay, how about Alejandro? Okay, you have a different answer. How about the others? Rafael, you can turn on your camera. William has an answer also. Marinelle and Victoria has an answer. Okay, you have different answers for this one. Okay, Rafael, your answer is... Okay, your answer is number 5. Okay. Very good. You have different answers. I think you need to defend your answer. Harvey, what's your answer? Okay. So, Alejandro answered number 3. Carl answered number 1. Rafael answered 5. Harvey answered... Carl answered 2. Harvey answered 1. Rafael answered 5. Okay. And in our chat box, there are also different answers from your classmates. Very good. So let me ask you, Carl, why is your answer number 2? Number 2 is, it uses statistics to generalize a finding. Okay, why number 2? Carl.
Um, Dun sa item number 4 kasi ma'am, nakalagay yung true generalization of the research. Since sa characteristics ma'am number 2, it uses statistics to generalize findings. Kaya ma'am, sa generalization na yun ma'am, na research, parang
Okay.
result po siya.
Okay. So, you have a point there. But here in number 3, we have here the phrase true generalization. Am I right, Carl? We have the word true generalization. So, if you're giving true generalization in a research, that makes you reliable. Diba? Giving factual and truthful answers makes you reliable and objective. Though, okay, correct pa rin, Carl. Because in number 3, okay, meron dyan, gathered data. That is also correct because gathered data is up, or your gathered data in quantitative research is being applied or subjected to statistical treatment. So, tama pa rin. But between 1 and 2, if you will choose, which is for number 3, okay, if you are only asked to choose one, you first choose the first characteristic. Understood, STEM A? Understood. Okay. Okay. Correct pa rin ang answer ni Carl. Because class, there will be some situations wherein not just one characteristic is applicable. Diba? Especially when you take exams, sometimes there are items that can have, or between the choices, there are more than one possible answers. But if you were to choose the best answer for that item, that will be number 3. Okay, thank you very much. At least that is an indication that you can already identify the different characteristics of quantitative research. Okay, going back, do you have any questions? STEM A. Do you have any questions? Okay, before we proceed with your assessment for today, let me know if you have any questions. Okay, Carl, wala. How about the others? Wala? Wala po bang tanong? Let me know also in our chat box. Okay, Hazel, no questions? Okay. Thank you very much for your responses. Okay, so since you don't have any questions, this time it is, this will be a short quiz. Okay, I will ask you again to go back to Google Classroom. Okay, please go back to Google Classroom. I am now going to post your quiz for today. Okay, have you seen your quiz, STEM A? I'm only giving you 3 minutes for that. Okay, very good everyone. I think most of you are done. Okay, have you seen your scores for your quiz? Have you seen your scores? Okay, very good because most of you got a perfect score for that quiz. Very good. You're able to really identify which is for quantitative and which is not. Okay, so thank you very much, STEM A. Very good. Okay, so I think STEM A, that will be all for today. Thank you very much for listening and participating. But before I let you go, I will show you some links here. Don't worry, I will also post this on our classroom so that you can try to watch these different videos. Okay, I will post the links. These links of videos or these videos may help you to understand more, and it can give you more information about research and quantitative research. Okay, so also I'll be posting your assignment, okay, later. Just check it out on our Google Classroom. Also, okay, STEM A, can you see what's on your screen right now? Okay, can you see what's on your screen, STEM A? Okay, after a very tiring day, okay, let's end our day with this different hugot. Okay, just to lighten up your day. Okay, this hugot, it may be a hugot or they may be hugots, but it or these will help you appreciate research more. Okay? 5 reasons kung bakit mas maganda ang research kaysa sa love life mo. Okay? Those are the 5. Okay? And lastly, STEM A, let me also tell you about this very important quote that will help you to start doing research. When you can't change the direction of the wind, adjust your sails. Okay, this is very timely for every one of us, class, since the type of classes that we are having right now are not the normal classroom setup. But since we cannot change the current situation that we are facing, the best thing that we can do is to adjust to it. Okay? And by adjusting to it, that means that you are accepting the challenge, okay? You're accepting the challenge to try new things on your own and to try new things that will give us better future. Okay, so thank you very much, STEM A, and I hope that you will have a great day ahead. So tomorrow you will have 2 classes again. Thank you very much, STEM A. Goodbye, everyone, and see you again on Tuesday.